Hey, listeners, Ricky and I would like to thank you for the continued support of the show. And in return, we would like to thank the people that help us bring the show to you. Fox Racing handles a ton of the production work involved in getting the show to you guys. RockyMountATVMC.com has been great with offering discount codes and the RM Fantasy SX League. Slick Products is supporting you guys with in-show giveaways each week. And the same with ODI Grips, supporting us and you with free Emig Pro grips and RC4 handlebars. These companies are the absolute premier products in their categories. And RC and I are proud to be associated with them and thankful that they can support you customers as well. So if you're headed to your local shop or online to purchase something for your next ride, give them a try. You won't be disappointed. Now, on with the show.
Said if you can't win, wreck someone who can.
Exactly.
I knew I wasn't winning that.
Why do people not get out of the fast lane?
Every time I see that picture of you riding around with that big ass fro you're wearing, I still get pissed.
It was that night I said preparate, but I didn't say what I wasn't supposed to say, and that's A1.
Hey everybody, welcome to Real Talk 447. I am Jeff Emig and I am in Corona, California. No association. And as always, joining me is Ricky Carmichael from his place in Tallahassee, Florida. How are you, Ricky?
I'm good. Just doing our part, you know. Another beautiful day outside. The weather has just been epic.
Our whole last week in California has been insane how nice it was. I mountain biked every day for 7 days straight. Now it's raining. It's supposed to rain for like 3 or 4 days straight. And it's hard to be involved in this Corona thing when the weather's so great outside. It's like you're on vacation or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. So, but you know, what's crazy is Riverside County where I live, they just enacted a thing where you have got to cover your face. So I had to go to the post office today. Dude, I had to wear a mask. Like I had to wear it.
Was it falling down like that or what?
Well, I pulled it down so I could talk and then I put it back up.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. It's crazy what's going on, but hopefully everybody's safe and protecting themselves. And so my hope is that this show that Ricky and I, that you and I have lined up for our listeners will be a little distraction. We're going to shy away from the norm, of course, because we don't have any Monster Energy Supercross, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, MXGP, anything like that happen. And Ricky, we just want to talk about some old times. Again, we're going to go way, way back.
Yeah, so we want to tell some good stories about our amateur days. And while we were thinking of ideas of what we could bring to our viewers, the people that love watching Real Talk 447, like, man, let's show some, let's give some insight and tell some good stories and about when we were younger and what it was like. And we're going to tell some funny stories, some stories that were maybe not so funny and hard times for us, for sure, you know, just, you know, for the results that we would always get and what we were expected to get. There was a lot of pressure there, but nevertheless, I think we got some funny ones. I don't know that I'll be able to outdo you, Jeff. You always seem to trump all of my stories for sure.
Well, half of my stuff isn't even true. So whatever you do, I just go to here.
Okay. That's how it is. So, I mean, you know, I think I will say this, and I think this is important for every kid, every amateur coming up, and especially important for the parents as well. I wish I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Now looking back, I mean, I have some fond memories, and I was very fortunate. And but I wish as a racer, I could have enjoyed it a little bit more than what I did. Now, as I say that, there was always a lot of pressure on me, and expectations were really, really high. I had great supporters, great sponsors. You know, the Kawasaki Team Green amateur program at the time was second to none. During my day, it was that was the program that you wanted to be on. Now all manufacturers have a pretty darn good amateur program. However, I was just expected to always win, and if I didn't win, people were like, "Hey, well, why didn't you win?" So anyhow, there was always a lot of pressure there, and that's one of the reasons why I went back and raced the 25 plus class at Loretta Lynn's. Was I wanted to go there and experience Loretta Lynn's with no pressure.
Was there no pressure?
I think there was at the end of the
Sure.
day, it was, and the track wasn't what I remembered it being. But we got
the 450 also.
Yeah, we got some good stories for you guys, and we'll hone in on some fun ones that you like, and then some real stories. But this will be great for our all of our younger listeners that are racing amateur and the parents as well. So, I mean, what do you want to start it off?
No, we got some promo codes we're gonna throw out here in a sec. But my first year back to race Loretta's after my pro career was like 1989 again. It was like I picked up right where I left off, because now, outside of you and I don't think that a Monster Energy Supercross champion has ever returned to Loretta's. So I kind of felt like, and granted I was, 3 seasons away from my pro career, my injury and all that. But I just felt like every time I went on the track, I was being watched, like I couldn't make a mistake and I was expected to win. And then you got the professional amateur vet guys, which are buddies of ours and stuff. Dude, they ride every week. I barely got it together to do the last area qualifier, and then got my shit together a little bit more for the regional, and then got it together a little bit more for the finals at Loretta's. And after that first year, I'm like, whoa, I need to get prepared here. This is no joke, right? We may have had a pro career before, but that was then. These amateurs that you have to race in a vet class, dude, they ride every week. And so, yeah, I mean, I blew one of my classes. I looped out the one day that ESPN was there to do a story. The old rhythm
story
section.
On you or?
Well, I like the race and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I was kind of part of the story. Well, the rhythm section after the finish line.
Yeah.
I was chasing Kevin Walker down through one of those on the first lap, looped out, stuff dirt up the silencer, rear fenders bent up, and the camera guy's right there.
See, I told you, all of you guys that are listening and watching this show, that Fro would always outdo me, no matter what story.
I
it was great, dude. I don't really remember that part, but I was there to support you for the couple days. Did you go to the beer tent at all throughout the week?
I think I did. You rode Motocross of Nations in 06, right?
Yeah. No, I got hurt. That was when it was at Matterley. So bummed. I was supposed to. But
so in 06 was the final year that I rode, and I was pretty dialed in, riding 450A or whatever, and then whatever my age class was.
Yep. And
the night before my day off, so I had a full day off with no racing, which is kind of odd, but I lucked out. The night before was when the Motocross of Nations team presentation was. So I was at the beer tent with you guys, yes, midway through, midweek.
Was I partaking in some of the fun or no?
Yeah.
During the season. See, everybody thought I was all hardcore, but see,
during 06, you were starting to loosen your collar a little bit.
It's yeah, let's go.
Yeah, but I had a whole day to recover, and I didn't have my dad giving me shit about going to sleep at night. It was on me. So if on whatever the next race day was, if I didn't ride well, that was on me.
Gotcha. Yeah. So hey, we got some great partners, and I think we got some promo codes. You want to give some stuff away?
Yeah, let's do that. So obviously each week RockyMountainATVMC.com has got promo codes and stuff for you. This week, not a high dollar item, but an item that most every guy, racer, woman needs to have in their toolbox, and that's a Tusk tire iron kit. So if you go on their site, there's no promo code, but it is discounted. So we just wanted to let you guys know that they have this massive discount. I can't imagine that they're very expensive to begin with, but you got to think it's 50% off or something of the sort. They give you such a killer deal on those things. So go to RockyMountainATVMC.com if you're looking for a new set of tire irons.
And those are one of those things that they're always nice to have laying around, because you never know when you're going to need them.
I think I've had my tire irons the same ones I have in my toolbox at least since the early 90s.
Really?
Yeah. Can you change a tire? Could you change a rear tire? I'm not even going front. I want rear.
Yeah, I could, but it would be super hard. But yes, I've only changed a couple in my time. So a lot of people always says, do you know how to work on bikes? And yes, especially like I used to do all my work on my bikes during the week when I would go to practice up until the last 3 years. So until then, I always did my bike work throughout the day. Then after my dad got home from work, he would prep it so it'd be ready to go when I would go practicing. But while I was at the track, I did all my stuff, whether it was jetting the carburetor. You got to remember that was 2 strokes back in the day. Jetting the carbs, changing linkages, suspension, all that stuff. Triple clamps, you name it. If there was a day where I was trying stuff, I did all my own stuff. So anyhow, but the one thing I drew the line on was tires. I couldn't pull it together.
All right. So also we wanted to notify all of our listeners and viewers that foxracing.com is still up and running despite the COVID-19 crisis. And they're running free shipping on any order. So you could buy maybe you could buy like a sticker for like $1. I think it's free shipping. It probably slipped out in an envelope, but whatever. My point is that there's no minimum order required for free shipping. So get a set of gloves, get some riding pants, get a whole kit, spend like $1,500, whatever it is, look like Ricky Carmichael, doesn't matter, and you'll get free shipping. So go ahead and check that out. And you can be just like Ricky and I. We get free shipping on all of our stuff, right?
Hey, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you ride good.
Ride good, you win.
So you got that going for you. So go get a kit. Or if you can't go, you got a show.
That's right. You're only as fast as you look.
That's right.
How many times have you gone to the line, like whether you're an amateur or whether you're a pro, but you're like, man, I look pretty, like this shit is fly.
Oh,
I'm looking good.
So many times. We were talking this, I think with Pete Fox, the Strafer gear I really loved that line. Strafer, you remember that? Remember that line, Fro?
Yeah, I do.
It
was, when you were a kid, what was the first free gear that you ever got when you were a kid, when you were an amateur?
It was High Point was my first gear sponsor. And then shortly after, Fox Racing scooped me up. And I want to say it was like 1991, maybe. No. 1990. I don't know. My resume is framed. It's somewhere in the archives at Fox, hanging up somewhere, packed away. I don't know where it is, but my mom, they framed my mom's original resume. And so, yeah, they picked me up at a young age, but I remember it was the Fox Emig, the Emig line. And then then my foot was too small and I wanted to wear the Fox Chameleon boots. Remember the?
Yeah, where you could take the logos off. That's what we talked about that with Pete Fox. Remember? He's like, man, we were so stoked on that. And then all of a sudden the logos were falling off and people were ticked off.
Kind of ahead of its time, really. But so eventually my foot grew enough to where I was able to squeeze into the smallest size that they made. But I can remember the Fox Emig pants. And, we talk about that. Do you remember we were able to stay a day later and do a Fox photo shoot, myself and a kid named Johnny Marley. He was
Marley. He was fast.
Yeah, he was from Oklahoma. Kind of rode under Robbie Raynard's wing. Yeah. But anyhow, he was a class below me as far as age goes. But he was a Team Green guy, Fox guy. So yeah, that was a blast from the past. But hey, I got a good story. So one time when I was racing amateur, we would race Ponca City, and then after Ponca City, Oklahoma, then we would go and pick up at Loretta Lynn's.
End of July, beginning of August, hot as shit, humid, both places. And you'd finish up on Sunday at Ponca and have to haul ass to Loretta's overnight, basically.
So we did the award ceremony where they would do it there in Ponca City proper. And got our awards, like, okay, we're headed to Loretta's. And it's about 11-hour drive, 12 hour from Ponca. As we're driving, okay, dude, we didn't have much growing up. And I had we had a C-class motorhome as a coachman. old.
Is that like a van front, or is that like the full build out?
Chevy van, Chevy van,
Chevy.
and it had the overhead cab. And
Is that where you slept? Did you sleep overhead, or did you just have to sleep on the table? You take the table down.
Yeah, I slept overhead most of the time. So then we had a white, like little 13-foot Braco trailer.
13?
Huh? Yeah, I think
13. 13's pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a pool table over here, and that thing's only 6 foot. So it was small, dude. I'm telling you.
To have our listeners, viewers, they're going to have to give us some measurements on what pool tables are. Yours is a pretty good size regulation table. Have them send in some pics of a 13-footer. Okay, go ahead. That was little.
So anyhow, we leave. And we're driving. My dad's driving. My mom is she's sitting up front. I'm sitting in the back. Probably they wouldn't let me play Nintendo on the way because we had to run the generator, and then the generator would suck more gas. So we were, sipping the fuel as much as we could at that point.
Wait,
so,
you had Nintendo in the motorhome?
Yeah.
Oh, you had me covered then.
Well, dude, you're so old. They didn't even have Nintendo back then.
We had Atari with the really bad joystick. Yeah.
So Nintendo wasn't even, there was no Nintendo. Yeah. So anyhow, we're driving, and like we're passing people. It's getting close to sunset, and people are like putting their hand out, like thinking, like giving us,
like waving to you, like other racers.
We'd like, dude, good job, congratulations. They're like flashing their lights as we're passing them. Something happened where we passed another person, and actually it was a kid, Ben Riddle, if you guys ever remember.
I remember Riddle, yeah.
His dad caught back up to us and like saying, dude, pull over. Well, we pull over after all this time. We thought people were like flashing their lights at us, and we thought they were giving us thumbs up, telling us, hey, good job. Well, actually what they were doing was trying to wave my dad down because the trailer was caught on fire. So we're just cruising down the road, smoke's just rolling out of the trailer. Okay. So my dad pulls over.
This is like in Arkansas or someplace?
Yeah. We were like probably in Arkansas by this point. Opens the trailer door. Dude, black smoke comes out. Just, it was unbelievable. You guys wouldn't believe it. Okay. I had my practice bikes in there because at the time I just kind of graduated into where Team Green was bringing my race bikes to all the major nationals. So the ones that I rode at Ponca, they went in the Team Green rig and then went with the Team Green rig to Loretta's. And only thing we had in our trailer were my practice bikes that we would turn in after Loretta's. I had all my gear, all kinds of spare parts, you name it, freaking lubricants, and we had 15 gallons of race gas. Okay, so anyhow, my dad opens the door. Well, long story short, the fire kind of smothered itself out, but what happened is the leaf spring broke on the trailer, and when the right side leaf spring broke, the tire was rubbing against the wheel well, and it just created so much heat.
Oh, that's how the fire started.
That's how the fire started.
I was wondering, how did the fire start?
Yeah. So the leaf spring broke, and so the tire was rubbing on the wheel well, and it's wooden, dude, and just ignited in there. Everything that you could ever imagine in that trailer was completely melted. Dude, chain lube bottles sprayed, 15 gallons of race gas. Dude, remember those old VP race fuels? Okay, dude, the tops of them were melted, and how they didn't ignite, I have no idea. I had all my gear hanging up. There was only thing left was the collar from the jersey hanging on the hanger. All right. So dad opens it up. It had like smoldered itself down, and like the fire went out before he obviously opened the door. So we got so lucky. I mean, I still think somewhere at the goat farm we still have one of those gas cans. Like, dude, you got to save these things. The melted top. Could you imagine if that thing would have ignited 15 gallons of race gas?
Fireworks.
So anyhow, there happened to be like a huge 4x4 laying on the floor somewhere. And I don't know, actually Pastrana's I think Pastrana and them, they stopped too, and they were helping. And anyhow, they lifted or jacked the trailer up, took this 4x4 and put it in between basically the frame of the trailer and the axle, and tie wired it all together so it wouldn't move. And that's how we got the rest of the way.
So that took place of the leaf spring.
Yeah, that took place of the leaf spring. It was probably a rough ride, but I didn't go in the trailer or look at the trailer until we got to Loretta's. And when my dad opened the back door down, dude, it was, I mean, I can remember it to this day like it was yesterday.
Charcoal.
Yeah, it was just smoked out, dude. Hey, all the plastics on my motorcycles, my practice bikes, were done. Everything's just drooping, completely destroyed. And at that point in time, I got lucky because I didn't have to wear the gear that was in there, because Fox had just started to bring the gear to the races. I think this is 1994, I believe it was. And yeah, so that was a crazy ass story.
So who was head of Team Green at the time?
It might have been Ron Heben at this. No, it was maybe Mark Johnson, but Jose Gonzalez had left by this point.
So you're like, here's the bikes back. Can we get some new ones?
Right. So that was unbelievable. So not necessarily a funny story, but it's kind of funny when you say like, yeah, we thought. My dad thought that people were giving us thumbs up. He's like, yeah, look, that's cool. They're flashing their lights. My dad's putting his hand out the window saying, you know, like telling him thank you. But yeah, so the trailer almost burned down. So anyhow, there's
giving back the Kawasaki KX shish kebabs.
There you go.
Shish bikes.
There you go. Yeah. So that was one. That was a crazy story that
You got me on that one. I got one little trailer story, but it don't compare to that.
It doesn't?
No.
There was another time we were, we were pulling the same trailer, okay? But this was years and years and years before. We had just gotten the trailer. I'll never forget this too. We were getting off the exit of the freeway somewhere off the 75 in Florida. We were going north somewhere. And I will never forget this one either. We're pulling off, dude. And look over, and the trailer had come on.
I knew that was coming.
Looked over, and the trailer was.
Is that our trailer?
They come on.
Like our trailer.
Yeah, the white Braco. I'm gonna find a picture of that and post it and say this was the trailer we were talking about. So yeah, that was a good one.
Hey, yeah. So we had. Our story. So we had a box van, and on the right side of the box van there was the awning, right? Like the RV awning that would roll up, and then you would like click it down in and lock the things in. So that was on the right side if you're looking the other way. Well, our travel trailer, which was, you know, it was for, you know, camping and stuff. So motorcycles were in the box van, travel trailer, right? So on the right side of it, it had an awning also. And it was the old school ones. You'd roll the thing up, and then each person would have to like lift up each side. And there were these knobs that you had to tighten it up with. Well, we're driving south from Kansas City down to Tulsa, and the wind's blowing across. Wind's blowing super bad, right? Like kind of, you know, Kansas, Missouri, out in the plains, and the wind's blowing. And my dad's fighting it, right? Driving the box van. It's like a Friday afternoon, evening. And all of a sudden he looks in the rearview mirror, the left rearview mirror, and he says, oh shit, the trailer was still attached to the hitch, but the wind had blown the awning up. So it was like a World of Outlaws sprint car. You ever seen those winged sprints? So the top of the travel trailer looks like this, and the awning is blown up like 6 or 8 feet. So it's just a kite at this point. So if you can imagine, it's on the trailer hitch and the left front tire. That's all that's touching is so it's a 4-tire trailer. The wind has blown it up, and it ground about 3 feet out of the front left corner, the bottom left corner of the trailer.
Yeah.
Ground it down. So when my dad looks in the rearview mirror, he's like, holy shit. And the trailer is jacked up on its side. So he backs it down, trailer comes down, right, pulls it off the side of the shoulder, and we look back, you know, and the tire's like worn out, ready to blow now. And the dude, I mean, like, there's not even enough of my screen right now. Dude, like this much of the corner of the trailer was ground down. Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, any of these guys that have grown up like we have, they look at our professional careers and you think that it's all just glamorous and it's just factory rides and glorified amateur racers, and all of a sudden, you know, here you are winning Supercross and Motocross of Nations. Dude, there is so many backstories.
Dude, hey, what's a good one that we always tell people? Like Fro and I we wanted to show this. We wanted to share this with you guys. So there would be times I remember going to a race, and the first one that comes to my mind is Gatorback. I loved racing there. That was my favorite track as an amateur. And I could remember, even if it was just like a Gold Cup, not a Winter Am or a Mini Olympics race, waking up in the morning and just like peeking out of that overhang on that motorhome and seeing, is this guy here today? And at the time, you know, names that come up, Shea Bentley, Robbie Horton, those kind of guys. Seems like those were the guys I was always battling, not only at the big nationals, but the series races at Gatorback and Florida Series. Anyhow, and I'd be like, okay, I'd like peek. I'm like,
you're just looking to see if your main competition is there.
Just praying to God that they wouldn't be there, so I wouldn't have to basically throw it on the line, you know? And so I'm like, man, no, they're not here yet. They're not here yet. And then everything is good, and you go to the riders meeting and you look over, and then one of the guys show up. Like you said, Jeff, oh crap, they got here late. Man, they just oh no.
Hey, it was either Chad Pedersen, Denny Stevenson, all the guys in Oklahoma. And if we went to Texas, we'd go like 85 class in Texas. Dude, once we all would have to move south, or like ride south in the wintertime, we'd go to the places around Dallas. Easily 12 kids that could win. Like, it was like, oh, right. Shit, Denny Stevenson's here. Damn it, Chad Pedersen, that's his box fan. Damn, you know, you'd be so
well, and the thing, like, it's a lot different.
Like the national.
Well, the thing that's a lot different today than it is when we were racing is, dude, I would race these guys on the 60 stock and modified most of the time. 80 stock and modified. And if there was a super mini class, which then I'm racing guys like Wyndham, but they were always a class above me as far as age. So that's the only time I would see them would be in the super mini class. So I don't know who you
but back then, if you were 11, you'd ride stock and mod 60, stock and mod 80, and then super mini. Now, luckily when I was 11, I probably had to ride the advanced, like the upper age super mini, but my brother and stuff was in, but then you're 11, so it's not that big a deal. But dude, it was on.
Yeah. So you like, not only do you have to beat the guy, but you got to beat him, you know, 6 or 8 motos. And it's the odds of that happening too, when you're a little kid and you don't know how to manage a rut and you're clearly riding over your head. It made for sometimes a very long ride home, where it was like my mom, I mean, everybody knows, like, she was the one who got the best out of me. She knew how to work me. She knew, you know, how to really pull the best results out of me. And man, especially if I made the same mistake twice, it was just crickets the whole ride home.
My dad was so supportive and nice most of the time. It was just, just arm around, like, you know, driving home in the box van. Hey, we'll get them next time, son. It'll be okay.
You tried your hardest, right?
Hey, you did your best, and that's all I care about.
Yeah. You wish, right?
No, he did. No. That's complete bullshit, by the way. No, all he cared about was the effort. Okay, now, thankfully, kids like you and I, we have the talent and the speed and all these sort of things where if we gave our best effort, victory would be there. Like, we could win. So it wasn't really about winning or losing to me. Like, what I take away from it as now I'm an adult and I look back on it is he just wanted the effort. because you can give a bad effort and still win. You know, both you and I have won races, even as professionals, where that really wasn't my best, but man, I managed to win because I was better. But we've also had races where you gave your best effort, where you honestly could say, I gave my best effort and I didn't win, right?
Oh,
So what my dad always preached is focus on the effort, give your best each time, right? And you look back on those times like you're talking about, these moments where it's like the ride home was not so good.
No, just crickets, you know. And my incentives were, hey, if you go out and you win today and you beat these guys, you know, you'll get a treat on the way home, or we'll stop and go out to eat, you know. And when I say
for sure. Go to Pizza Hut, or
I'm talking like Sonny's barbecue, like, you know, $5.99 for the all you can eat platter kind of situation. But yeah, and looking back and elaborate on what you said, like now that you're an adult, you know the message that your dad was trying to get across. Well, my mom was the same way too. She was never disappointed at me or with me if I gave it 110% and I didn't make the same mistake twice. And that's what I appreciate her for, because she never expected something from me that she knew I couldn't accomplish. And if I got beat, you know, it's like, okay, hey, you got beat, but you still gave it your all. You didn't fall down, and we'll go work and we'll try to be faster. And I appreciate that from her. However, the long rides home where it was really quiet and you could cut the air with a knife were the ones where if I was leading and I fell down, had no business making those kind of mistakes. So yeah, those weren't very fun. But getting back to peeking out of that window, you're like, man.
Hey, one time, so we always had box vans from about 1980. Well, always. I think we had two different ones, but remember the Ford box van, how there was like the van accessory shop cup holder that was like wood, and it had like chrome trim around it. Like took the cup holder, like made it like 4 cup holders, maybe a little cubby hole below it. You like screw it into the engine cover on the Ford vans. So we always had the Ford vans, right? And our box vans were always built out where they had like bunks in the back, and it was partitioned. So where the bikes were and where the sleeping area was like partitioned. And I was just telling my sister about this last week. We were talking about the same thing. I said, hey, do you remember that time where Dad was super pissed off and we were coming home? I think it was from Lake Whitney, Texas, which was like 12 hours, right, on a Sunday night. And he would drive straight through after the race Sunday night, overnight, so he could get us to school on Monday morning, right? We're somewhere in Oklahoma on the turnpike. The only place to stop is like the gas station in Hardee's, right? Just like you said, you pull over. If you guys want something to eat, you better get out, you know, and you're just like, no, I'm good. So Paige is in the upper bunk, and Dad is chewing my ass out, right? Like, because
what'd you mess up on that race? I mean, I don't know.
I didn't give my best effort, whatever it was. It was, I didn't try as hard as I could, right? Whatever it was. Well, he's pissed off, and he's, you know, I didn't realize at the time, like, dude, everything that he's doing is for this. Paige is taking a back seat. By now, Brian has had to take a back seat. Everything in our family is about my success racing. Dude, that's a lot to put on a 14 or 15-year-old. Could have even been 13. Mm-hmm. But that's how it was. That's what shaped us, right?
Yeah.
Well, so getting back to the cup holder. So he's pissed off, and he like slams the cup holder, and the thing breaks off, right? And he like so mad, he like throws it back in the back. So I'm at the lower bunk. Paige is in the upper bunk. Like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I ain't part of this. This doesn't do me. And he like throws it back at me. And then I get blamed. He gets mad at me for making him so mad that he broke the cup holder.
You're right. It is double. Yeah, he was double mad, and it was all because of your fault. If you would have given your max effort, he wouldn't have
broke the cup holder.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, good.
But hey, that being said, most of us have had a parent that is that way. Some parents are a little gnarlier than others, and there's certain situations. I'm sure that there are former racers out there that experienced some stuff that wasn't so good, and other racers that are like, man, I wish my parent was a little harder on me. For us, that's how it was. And yes, it seemed like tough love at the time, but it also helped shape us and mold us into who we were as racers and people. So, you know, I didn't like it at the time, but you know, I'd rather have a cup holder thrown at me than maybe some of the other alternatives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I think I think at the end of the day, and I tell people this, you know, even if I didn't make it and become the person that I became, at least one thing I know is that the lessons I learned would have helped me. I stayed out of trouble, you know, throughout my teenage years. And it was a great place. And I've met some of the greatest people ever and friends that I'll have for a lifetime. And that's, you know, looking back at it, yes, I made it. I was successful, but take all that away, there's still people that I talk to every day and will spend a lifetime with. And, you know, that's the best. But there were some great stories that came along with it. I will tell you this, and I think everyone can say this. I think there are more better stories than there are not good stories. And it was fun. So that was some fun stuff.
Oh, dude, the amateur days. I was just watching those videos that JH sent through Ponca, of you at Ponca. In Ponca, especially in my early days, Loretta's wasn't even around yet. I rode Ponca in 79. Loretta's first year was 82. But you think about what those 2 weeks, you know, in the early days, and now it's pretty much Loretta's, what they represented to the industry and the fun that we would have. And I mean, so grateful to live those days. Quick story. So I used to have the most badass, super light PK Ripper bike, right? SE Racing, PK Ripper. Do you know what that is?
What is
A BMX bike.
Oh, okay.
My bike was like, dude, blue and gold. That was my colors. Blue frame, everything else gold. Brakes, rims, hubs, brake levers, everything. So at Ponca, every night, you know, people are getting together, just like they do at Loretta's these days. Well, there was some kid that was a really good bike rider, and they had this area set up by a light, and all the beer drinking dads and people are there, just like they do now at Loretta's. And then all the kids are congregating. And this is BMX days. Like, this was full on BMX days. And so they were doing like this little jump, and they were bunny hopping tires, right? So this kid was like parents, like drunk dads are like betting money. And all of a sudden this kid is like, he's the guy. Well, he needed a better bike so he could do like more tires, right? So we did a deal with him, like, hey, you can use my bike, because he's betting like the dads if he could like bunny hop these tires or jump these tires or whatever. I don't remember what the dollar amount was, but this kid ends up like jumping all these tires and using my bike to do it. And then we split the proceeds. I was like 12 or 13 or 14 or something. I don't remember. And it was awesome. Like those times, like little moments like that happen each year, these individual stories, like, were awesome.
One year we weren't at Loretta's and parked, and we'd always park in lot 3 back in the day. And we'd always travel with the Boyers, Andy, Clint, and Casey. We'd always park next to them. That was our deal. And we weren't at Loretta's for 20 minutes. We got our BMX bikes out, and we started to go up towards the Team Green tent. And there was that little like ravine there where they always have little BMX jumps. And dude, I came through there, rolled down, and just completely endoed, smashed my knee on the handlebar. I thought I really hurt myself. And the first thing I'm thinking, like, dude, what am I going to tell my sponsors? This is bad. And like, those are the scary times. I'm sure that
your sponsors, it's mom at this point. We can tell mom.
Yeah, no doubt. So one other story I would like to tell, and this is a cool one. This is, you talk about sacrifices, and so many parents make sacrifices for their kids, and that's what's so cool about it, especially when the kids realize it at a young age. But in 1988, I think 88 or 87, we wanted to go out to the World Minis in Vegas. That was when it was out. What was the older track?
Vegas, like out past Henderson and all that. Yeah, railroad pass or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
we didn't have the money to get there. So my dad had, we didn't have money, but he had a Harley. He had a Fat Boy, 1979 Fat Boy or whatever. And he sold that to buy us airplane tickets to get out there and to buy me a brand new KX60 for that.
60.
Yeah, KX60. Yep. We got a bicycle box from the airline. We put my KX60 in that, and then my PW modified 50 that we borrowed from somebody. We put that in a suitcase, and we stayed at the Circus. But we didn't stay in the main tower at the Circus. We stayed at they had the affordable
Motel 6 version of it.
Yeah, the working man's version. And that was my first time flying to Vegas, but I will never.
Which year?
I told my dad, and this is a cool part. I told my dad, and I remembered, I said, Dad, if I ever turn pro, I'm going to buy you your Harley back. So in 96, when I signed my contract with Pro Circuit, got $30,000 as my salary.
Ooh, crushing.
97 Fat Boy. Agent at the time had one, and I bought it from him and paid my dad back, gave him his motorcycle back, and he still has it to this day. So
he still has that one.
Still has it, man.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, dude, we weren't at Loretta's for 20 minutes, and I just completely wadded myself. But you remember back in the day, how many people they had those YSRs, those little mini.
Oh yeah, we had one. We had mopeds, chappies. So we had a Yamaha with a DG pipe on it, and the thing would rev to like 18,000 RPMs. We had a chappie, which was like a moped with little fat tires, and then we had one YSR. My dad was really good about that. Plus, Kawasaki did like a 85cc little street bike thing. We had one of those too. My dad was really cool about that stuff, considering we had no money.
My mom wasn't, dude. You know what my transportation was? A bicycle, dude. That's a long ride to Loretta's back to the rope swing on a bicycle.
It's good for you. Good for you.
Right. So great stuff. It's the best times of my life. Great sponsors. Like I said, doing stuff like that is what gave me the opportunity to be sponsored by Fox. They always had the coolest setup back then, and just I can remember, man, I just want to be sponsored by them because they were so elite. They hardly sponsored anyone, and it was so special to me. And then when I finally got the nod, I felt like I had made it. That was almost better than winning the damn race to get sponsored.
Hey, how old are you now?
I'm 40.
That's it?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do a modified qualification for Loretta's this year.
I don't know, but I want to tell you guys one more story about Ponca. So first year I went to Ponca was 1987, and I raced, I think it was 6 to 8 stock and mod on the 60. I only did stock and mod, and then I raced the modified PW class. And you remember how I had like that jump tabletop, and the jump tabletop, it had the over and under. Remember that?
Yep.
At Ponca? Dude, I thought it was a tabletop. Clearly, I didn't walk.
Track walk?
I got lost on where I was. And dude, I hit that single before the jump like the tabletop part, the over and under, landed all the way in the middle and broke the bike completely in half. Dude, our only bike. We didn't have no backup.
Yeah, they're like, that's the practice bike.
That old welding guy, Merlin. Remember, he had that old raggedy
trailer. Yeah, he could fix anything. He's a magician.
Yeah, he was a wizard.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that was a fun. Yeah, broke this PW50 completely in half. Anyhow, that was good stuff.
That was 87.
Yeah. Hey,
your parents are probably making you go watch me in the 80 expert class.
Yeah, probably. I probably was. You were probably a jerk to me then. But listen.
Like, get away from me, kid.
So I went there, and I hated, dude, I never wear gloves.
I remember you saying this.
Jerseys. Hated them. Like, they would get, like, I didn't like stuff on my arms, my hands, or goggles. So we got there. I had the goggles, obviously. But the jersey, and the guy, when we got to the staging, the official came to my dad and said, hey, he can't take the course unless he gets a jersey. I already didn't have my gloves. And my dad's like, okay, but he's good without any gloves. He says, yeah, he's okay with no gloves, but he's got to have a jersey. So anyhow, my dad ran and bought me one. I put the jersey on. First thing I did when they put the jersey on is I slid the arms up. Like, well, we can't do anything there. He's technically wearing a jersey. But, oh, yeah, dude, I used to raw.
That's a rebel.
I was raw, dude. No gloves, no goggles, and T-shirts, man. I had to feel it. I had to feel the air. Is that crazy to you or what, dude? Yeah. You look at old pictures of me, like when I first started, dude, T-shirt and no gloves, no goggles.
I love the fact, probably one of my favorite things, not just for our friendship, but about you and motocross in general, is that as much shit as we give the people that choose to ride quads, four-wheelers, three-wheelers, right?
Oh, jeez. I know where you're going.
Is that the winningest rider in AMA history, motocross and supercross, combined wins, started his career on a tri-zinger. On a three-wheeler. You started on a three-wheeler. Like, I had ATC 70s for fun, but that was for play. Like, I was a two-wheel racer. That just blows my mind. That's just
three-wheelers were the thing, dude, back then.
Oh, yeah, three-wheeling's a good feeling. Everybody knows that.
Oh, dude, like those guys, like Rodney Gentry, Kerry Jones, those guys were my heroes, dude. They were like three-wheelers. This is before quad.
Oh, I go back, dude. Jimmy White and those guys. Hey, you remember Dixon? He used to work on Jimmy White's three-wheelers at Factory Kawasaki. They had factory three-wheeler teams. Like, they were race teams, three-wheelers. Yeah.
That was me, dude. Suspension for tires. Tires for suspension, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tri-Zinger, I had the blue one, dude. Got it from Cycle Springs Yamaha, Ronnie Tishner's dad's Yamaha shop, 1985. There's a whole bunch of good pictures, and I would give anything to have that Tri-Zinger back.
Yeah. I seen a picture today on Instagram of an Indian 50. And it wasn't the same color that I had, but it was easily like a 76, 77, you know. Some of that motocross nostalgia, you know, we've been around long enough now where some of that stuff is starting to come back around. Maybe it's just we're getting old. I don't know. I'm almost 50, so.
Yeah, I think the older you get, the more you appreciate it. But yeah, we wanted to just I think it's so cool that our listeners and viewers got to hear some fun stories, some not so fun, and just there was a lot of pressure, man. You know, and it was all for the good, and it's memories that I will never forget. Some of my fondest memories. But I will say, if I could do it over, I definitely would enjoy it a lot much, despite the pressure of always winning.
Well, remember, Ricky, diamonds start off as coal, right?
Yeah,
and it's the pressure that makes them a diamond. So
that's right.
You're a diamond in my book, buddy.
I appreciate that. Needed a little fluff and buff, but we got it.
Hey, are we gonna try to race Loretta's again sometime?
Dude, no, it's too serious anymore. And like
we don't take it serious. So I'm not sure what the class structure is at 40. Is that an open class or is 45 the open?
Going back to Loretta, I don't know. You mean, is it a
some of them are BC classes. These like either 40, like on the fives or on the zeros are BCs. So we wouldn't be allowed to ride that. So they split it up in like 10-year increments.
That's right.
You know,
I don't know, because I think it's changed a couple times. It's sportsman class, right? Is it
something like that? Yeah, where we wouldn't be allowed to ride it. So, but hey, I'm going to be 50 at the end of this year, and after that, that's it. There's no more cutoffs.
You would crush the 50 for sure.
Dude, those guys ride so much.
That was the one thing when I did Loretta's, kind of like you, dude. I just like 2 weeks before the area. I'm like, man, I think I want to race Loretta's. So I went there, and everything was so much different from what I remembered. And we raced pro for 10 years, so I was used to how long the gate stays up. I mean, if you're not ready in the amateur scene, I mean, as soon as the car goes sideways, poof, the gate goes down, dude. I wasn't ready for that. The tracks, the lines are a lot different, and it was definitely an eye-opening experience. And, I had to learn quick, or you're going to get left behind. But those guys race every single weekend. And
like our buddy Earl.
Yeah.
Earl the Pearl, Earl May, dude. He rides a lot, right?
He does. He rides. I mean, he takes that stuff serious. So.
But he has been for, as long as I can remember.
For him, it's a hobby, and he has a good time. It's what he enjoys to do, man. He's got a great setup, and it's fun. It's like he enjoys going to the races and staying in his motorhome and all that fun stuff. And it is. It's a lot of fun, man.
Well, I say we try to get it together. I think MX Sports probably they're gonna have to have some sort of abbreviated qualifying schedule this year. I've been in shape. I've been riding my mountain bike. I just need to get on it. I'll be on a 150 2-stroke. So if you want to show up on what are you riding? A 450 Suzuki still?
I mean, 450.
Let's ride the plus 40. Let's do this. It's just for fun. It's no competition. Just you and out there, right? Like high-fiving and stuff around the track. Wouldn't be no competition at all.
I know how that'll go, dude.
Yeah, because you still have a score to settle. You're still pissed off. Because last time we raced, I beat your ass.
To win, brother, and I'm tired of your lame-ass excuses all the time.
Dude, I've been milking it now. Do you realize it's been over 20 years I've been milking that?
I'm glad Hey, you want to tell these guys who we got? We got someone special coming on Wednesday.
How are you doing? Your business partner, former.
Yeah. Our man, Kerry Hart, is going to join us Wednesday, and we're going to talk about his career. He was one of the pioneers of freestyle motocross, and obviously the founder of Hart and Huntington Race Team, and transitioning over to RCH when we formed our alliance together.
He's a former fashion model too. I'm sure we can dig up some pretty fun photos.
He's the jack of all trades. He's done a whole bunch. You know what? Freestyle, I always tease him about this. I said, freestyle motocross has been very good to him.
Yeah.
Good life.
Hey, how about when he did the Miller Lite commercial with Burt Reynolds?
Dude, that guy is a legend, dude. Right?
Burt or Kerry?
Burt. Well, Kerry too. But yeah, so we're excited to have Kerry on, everybody. We're going to do a little episode with him. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Are we going to do that this week? When are we going to do it?
We're going to plan on doing it Wednesday. He committed.
A couple days. Okay.
You able to fit that in your busy schedule?
Let me think. Well, it's raining. You're lucky it's raining, because if not, I'd probably be mountain biking.
Okay, yeah. I saw your data too, by the way. You got some work to do, my man.
Oh, for sure. My fun level's high, but don't look at good thing I don't have a heart rate monitor and all that stuff on. So
yeah, don't do that.
Well, I got to go outside to get the mail sometime soon, so I'm gonna have to get my face mask on, because that's how it is here in Riverside County.
You can wear your gloves too, right?
No, I don't wear gloves.
Just the face mask?
Well, I'm trying to protect everyone else.
Gotcha.
That's supposed to be the deal. Hey, Ricky, it's been a blast going down memory lane with you, taking a little walk here.
I used to be worried about the stories, what would happen, because there are a lot of activities that the promoters did at the amateur races back in the day, like the talent show, like karaoke show,
Chili cook-off,
lip sync show, and there's always some good stories, but that's for another time.
Hey, if they do a talent contest at Loretta's one of these years, we need to do a little, because I know you play piano. We should
call it playing. I wouldn't necessarily call it playing. I just kind of point and shoot.
Fair enough. Maybe we could get Andrew McKeague. He could write us some music, and we could build our own theme song for the show, and we could do it at Loretta's for the talent show. Do they still do the talent show, or is everything so professional there?
I don't know. They may. Remember they had the tricycle races. You did one of those.
I saw that picture. Yep.
Remember? You're not supposed to.
Amateur motocross is so much fun. It is some of the best memories. Yeah, there are some of these hard times that Ricky and I talked about today on the show, but more of the stories is certainly tipped in the
fun
scale was tipped to fun.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
We met so many rad people and families. Hey, how many motorhomes did you go to? And the mom's like, let me make you a turkey sandwich. Don't worry about it. You can eat here.
Oh,
you know?
Turkey sandwiches. I was thinking like Reese cups. What are you talking about?
Reese's?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever the case, you know? Like the community would just take care of everyone else's kids, you know?
Andy and the Boyer's mom, Jana always used to take good care of me and that stuff. She'd pack a little extra treats for me. She was very polite in that way.
Hey, we're in Wichita, Kansas at probably a Loretta's qualifier or something. The place, I forget the name of the track, like Jeeps or something. Just total dust bowl, no water. And I remember we were at Andy's motorhome and we were eating pickles out of the jar. And I convinced him, like, I used to love to drink the pickle juice. Well, I got Andy to drink a bunch of it. And if I remember correctly, he can watch the show and, confirm it. But I think he got sick and like had problems with this next moto because he drank too much pickle juice. So
they say that's really good for hydration, pickle juice.
Oh, but not if he drank too much. I don't know. We'll have to talk to him and confirm it. But It was fun times. Hey, Ricky, I appreciate you sharing all of these amazing stories here for all of our listeners. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has. Well, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Looking forward to having our old race partner, Carrie Hart, in a couple of days. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll get that posted for you guys. But hopefully everybody's staying safe, doing their thing, and keep positive vibes, man. Enjoy this time while you can, because once things gets back rolling, it's going to be wide open. So enjoy your loved ones.
Well said, Ricky. Also, thanks to all of our listeners around the world, and of course our sponsors, RockyMountainATVMC.com, Slick Products, Emig Pro Grips, and RC4 Handlebars by ODI Grips. And of course, Fox Racing for everything they do, supporting us and supporting the production of the show. So if you're watching on YouTube, I encourage you to comment below. We really appreciate that. We got to get on that, actually. Like the show, subscribe on your, whether it's on podcast or YouTube. Love the comments. And as always, we have to take you out with the Andrew McKeague Band in This Old Life. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. See ya.